What's up, everybody? Custom Creator here. Today we're going to do hopefully a quick tutorial on creating cigarette butts for your dioramas. Did this over the weekend. I did find a tutorial out there somewhere for a smaller scale. I just changed the scale for 112, aka Marvel Legends DC figures. This will be my first in-depth tutorial and the second episode of Talks from the Workbench. So let's get started on what you'll need. Basically, very simple. You'll need some floral wire. I don't know the gauge of the floral wire, but it's nothing special. You find it in any craft store in the flower section. It has this yarn wrapped around it. I think I might have got this even at the dollar store, but it's perfect size for a Marvel Legends scale cigarette. You'll need a pair of snips, of course, a pair of tweezers, come in super handy for painting. As you can see, I've painted a few of them on here. And what I also did was grabbed a broken magnet to hold some of the cigarette butts when I first started painting them. I ended up just painting them mostly with the tweezers after it because it was hard to get all the way around on the magnet. And then I only used this vanilla color, this yellow, which is King's Gold actually. It's kind of what I would call a dirty yellow. Black, of course, for the ash. On a couple of them I did use some of this traditional raw umber brown. And I did use some gray on a couple of them to be kind of like recently smoked. It's hard to zoom in on this with this camera, but basically this one here, see if I can get a good shot of it. This one here had some gray on it, as it was like just recently discarded, I would say. Otherwise you can just use black. So I'm going to show you a couple here, and it should be it. I mean, it's like I said, it's pretty simple, not that difficult to do. So give me a second to set up here and I will be right back. Thanks. Alright, we're back. So basically what you want to do is, obviously you got to take off this yarn or thread. So once you get it started, it's pretty easy. Just got to kind of keep winding it. Sorry if my light's not that great, and I'm still an amateur here making videos, but so unwind, a bunch of this stuff. It does like to fold back over itself, so make sure you're going in the right direction. So this piece right here would probably make about 6 or 7 cigarette butts. So basically you're just gonna snip off some of your wire, put that aside, and now you have a bare piece of metal. Little side tip, I actually also use this for conduit in walls and rebar. You can't probably see it on camera, maybe you can, but when you take the thread off, it actually leaves like permanent stripes on it, so it actually works really well for like rebar and stuff. You won't see that once you paint it, of course, for the cigarettes. So basically you got to pick probably a 1/4 inch maybe for your length. That would be pretty close to a full-size cigarette, and a lot smaller for your half smoked, and then even smaller if you just wanted to do a bunch of just the filter ends. But for this demonstration I will do kind of a medium one here, just so you can still see it on camera pretty much. But basically all you do is just snip off various lengths. Doesn't really have to be perfect. Again, if you're using them for props, anything will pretty much work. And of course I just dropped the wire. That was another thing with these, is dropping the wire and dropping the cigarettes as you're making them. Of course, they disappear onto my cement floor here, but there it is, I found it. Now it's covered in dust. Alright, but we do have a couple here, so I'll just do it with this one. So, very simple, guys. I'm not going to make this a long video, but here's my cigarette piece. What you also might want to do, like I did, was just take a pair of needle nose pliers and just kind of, if you wanted to make like a stamped out cigarette or like a put out cigarette, you just grab the tip. I should have put a background on this so you guys can see this. I'm sorry. Again, kind of an amateur here, so let's see if this helps. And everything's falling. These videos will get better, I promise. I'll get a backdrop. But anyway, just grab the tip of the cigarette and just bend. I usually bend it on the top of my workbench because it is pretty tough at this size to get a good bend out of it. But you know, you kind of want to get a little L shape, if you can see that. I'll grab it with the tweezers. So you get a little L shape here for your cigarette. So then you basically just start painting. I always do the filter part first. So we take our crappy yellow, our dirty yellow as they say. Just paint the filter part. Just use your best judgment on how big the filter should be. You can always paint over it with the white part if you need to. Remember, these are so small and they're just going to be props in your diorama. So they don't have to be perfect, but you still want them to look like a cigarette. You don't want them to not. So there we have the yellow filter part. Now we'll do the white. This goes pretty fast, guys. You can do this on a Saturday afternoon if it's crappy out, or you know, in an hour at night. Probably even do it in front of the TV if you want, just to give you something to watch or listen to while you're building these. So here we come in with the white. Again, just try to make that filter part as straight as possible, because there is a pretty obvious cutoff from a filter on a cigarette. So we'll paint that up, and again, don't worry about if you go too far with the white, because you just come back in with the yellow. So in this case, I actually did go a little bit too far with the yellow. I mean with the white. Just grab a little bit more yellow. Straighten that out. And again, it's cool with the wire because the wire is like a silver or gray color. So even if you don't get full coverage with the paint, it actually works in your favor, because it then looks like, you know, a dirty old cigarette, which is what we're going for here. So let me see if I can put a color behind this so you can actually see what we have so far. Ugh, I really got to get some good lights. I apologize, guys. Rookie mistake on this part. But see if I shield this a little bit, if you can get a better. Nope. Again, sorry guys, I'm a rookie here. So there's basically our cigarette. Let's see if we can get it to focus a little bit. And then you just got to do your burnt end. So I don't really wait for anything to dry. I just kind of go for it. I usually do this part with my fingers, so the paint that's already on the tweezers doesn't get doesn't mix the colors. So we grab a little bit of black here and really just go on the tip. Make it a little uneven, like it was burnt. And there we have a cigarette. Try to get this a little close up here. This is the one we just did. A chance to adjust. This camera, I guess, is not too great for for this type of job. I should have used my phone. But let's get a little shadow there so you can see it. So yeah, basically, I'll go slow here. That is our made cigarette. Now, you know, it doesn't look perfect. The end is a little tapered, but you know, you can flip these around. Again, just laying there on the street, nobody's even going to realize the imperfections. Although, me being the perfectionist I am, I can see that some of the yellow has rubbed off. So, let's touch it up with a little bit more yellow. So it looks a little bit more legit. Man, I wish that would focus for you guys. See if I can do this without zooming. The shadow helps a little bit, but I need a macro for this scale. So there it is, guys. Cigarette butts for your dioramas. Again, I said I was going to make this pretty short because I got a couple of things to do and I don't want to bore you with a huge video, and obviously I wasn't set up right. Next time I will have a backdrop here and some better lighting to better serve you guys and show you, you know, a little bit better for these tutorials. But give me some slack. It's my first full-length tutorial. I do have some other stuff, as you can tell, on my page here. But like, comment, subscribe. I'll leave a link to Diorama Builders in the comments below. And if you have any questions, you can send me a message or reach me at Diorama Builders on Facebook or under Jamie Lambert on Facebook as well. So I hope you enjoyed it. Again, sorry for the shoddy studio work here, but I'll try my best next time. Be well.